Welcome to the squad. I'm Puma, he's Ice Water. And do us a favor or a big solid. Like, subscribe, comment on our page, the squad. We have other shows. We have NFL picks we're going in. And I led this week. Hey. And then we have the fight game. You check out all our shows, the current shows and the past shows, and get caught up. Catch up. We are moving fast. Let's go to college football. Man, it was pretty good games this weekend. Ohio State still is ranked number one, followed by Miami. Miami moves up with a 4-0 record, and they stopped Florida. And I know in Florida they're talking about getting rid of the coach and doing some overhauling of the program. Penn State, number three, followed by LSU, Georgia, Oregon is number six. Oklahoma, number seven. Florida State, which I think should be ranked a little bit higher, ranked number eight. Number nine, Texas A&M, followed by Texas. Indiana outlast my boys, Illinois. And that was a pretty decent game. And I didn't know who was going to win, but it seemed like Illinois was making a lot of mistakes. What is your eye test for college football last week?
A lot of things coming down. That's what I know. And who we thought was going to be good, maybe isn't so good after all. First thing came off the top of my head was the way that Syracuse manhandled Clemson.
Yes. Yeah.
34-21. I've watched Clemson a couple times this year, and they looked a little shaky, but I thought because they had the defense and they had a decent quarterback, they would be okay. But the more that you watch them, the more that I'm looking at them and the way that they got dismantled by Syracuse
Yeah, had
makes you
Dabo
kind of
crying on the sidelines, bro.
yeah, it was a sad sight. And maybe the program is kind of going down a little bit from that perspective. It's very interesting to me. Another another team that is surprising me. I'm not saying they're going to go all the way, but I'm glad to see that they're having the success that they are early, and that's 4-0. They're 4-0, and that's Maryland. I
Mhm.
watched Maryland versus Wisconsin, 27-10. Freshman quarterback Malik Washington. Everybody's talking about Underwood from Michigan. Malik Washington's a fun guy to watch, and I'm happy for Maryland because for years they've always tried to rise up and be decent. And this is a young guy, kind of homegrown, I think, from the DMV area, if I'm not mistaken. And to see them moving forward and making strides early, and they might lose two, three games, but just to see the program changing, because I like the coach as well, was excited about that. Oklahoma, Auburn. Auburn wins that 24-17. And I watched both quarterbacks. I watched Auburn's quarterback was supposed to be pretty good. And Oklahoma's defense came on with the 10 sacks. What I noticed while watching this game, it was very close. I noticed that I'm not sure if either one of those quarterbacks can lead their programs a long way in the playoffs if they make it.
Hmm. It's
They
interesting.
left a lot to be desired, particularly the Auburn quarterback left a lot to be desired. And last but not least, because you gotta let you jump all the other big stuff. I like to see other things a little different. I watched Michigan versus Nebraska. I watched Nebraska fight. The quarterback tried to come back. Michigan, tooth and nail, did all they could. They did win, and they were rewarded for that win. Not sure if they should be that high in the rankings, but they won and they've been winning, and they won the big game against Nebraska. The jury is still out. I'm also going to be looking very closely at USC. I'm not saying they're coming back, but they're showing some signs of they're winning games they should win. And we'll see what happens from that standpoint.
Okay. I want to check something real quick because I think you said that Auburn beat Oklahoma.
No, did I say that?
Yeah. I wanted to check that
Well,
because I know Oklahoma.
no, I stand corrected because
Okay.
definitely Oklahoma beat Auburn. I stand corrected if I said that. Look, stop drinking on the job. But yeah, Oklahoma beat Auburn.
Here's what I want to say because there's some big games coming up next week, and we're gonna get to those. But college football, you got to stop this. You got to stop this. Notre Dame hadn't won a game. They won their first game against Purdue, who's not ranked, and they were ranked 24 last week. How do they jump to 22 over Illinois, who just lost to another team that was ranked? Come on now, you gotta stop doing this. You gotta stop trying to force Notre Dame on people. And this is why I get on Notre Dame fans and I talk about Notre Dame. Earn it. Make them earn it. They're not in a conference. Make them earn it, because you pushing them up the rankings. It's not going to work, because they're going to get dusted when they get in the playoffs, and nobody wants to see that. I would like to see it, because I always laugh at it, and I always make money betting Notre Dame fans. But you got to stop doing this, college football. Let the schools who win the games and are fighting to get in the playoffs, let them get in. I know you want the money from Notre Dame, but that doesn't, that's not boding well when they can cheat and get up the rankings, because you want the money and you want the prestige of Notre Dame. They haven't been that team in a long time. Quit trying to push them. What are your thoughts about this, man? Because I'm pretty much done with this, with Notre Dame being, boosted up in the rankings, and they haven't earned it. They're the only 1 and 2 team in the top 25, where you have other teams that are honorable mention who are undefeated. That should be in the top 25. Give them a shot.
I agree with that 100%. Again, somebody reminded me that the reason why they think Notre Dame is ranked so high is because their two losses were to two ranked teams. But regardless of the fact this early, what does it hurt to have a team that's maybe 4-0, as you mentioned, or 3-1, right there above them until they falter? We know it's going to all even out in about 3 weeks anyway. And if Notre Dame is supposed to be making a run and they're going to make this gallant effort to come back, then making them earn it, as you say. You do not reward them because they're 1 and 2, because you are impressed by their efforts. This is about definitely wins and losses.
Yeah.
It should be wins and losses. And if you struggle early until you come back around and you prove that you're worthy to make that gigantic climb up the hill, then you get rewarded. Not because you're feeling some kind of way, or you're booster or somebody to call in, you have a connection with someone. But unfortunately, it's a matter of opinion. And that comes down to the coaches, of course, right? The sports writers. So somebody is Notre Dame crazy and they're backing that team. So maybe they want them, they're going to be their year. And we've been waiting on their year for a long time. We go back to Tony Rice, right? We've been waiting on that year. So maybe they're waiting to see that happen.
Yeah. I have nothing against Notre Dame, the coach. I like the coach. I like what they do, but come on, you got to earn it. There's some conference games that are coming up this week. You got Illinois versus USC. You said you want to see USC, and you can talk about these games. LSU and Ole Miss. They're going to be playing this particular weekend. The big one that I know I want to watch is Penn State and Oregon, the Big Ten battle. And of course, I want to watch this game, Georgia and Alabama, number 5 against number 17. What are your thoughts on those games or other games you want to watch, man?
Well, at the box, I'm interested in Oregon versus Penn State. Oregon's getting a lot of press because what they've been doing against subpar teams, averaging or scoring like 46 points a game, 50. So you go to Penn State, which is a very difficult place to play, and the transformation that Penn State has made with the new defensive coordinator and what they've been doing lately as well. I think it's going to be a great matchup, and it's going to kind of shake some things out to see who the better team is, and it's going to give the winner a jump, if you will, in the Big Ten standings. So I'm excited to see that as well. Alabama, Georgia, just because Georgia's been getting a lot of praise, a lot of love at number 5. Alabama is like on the edge, and you don't know. Seems like Williams, the wide receiver, is starting to come around a little bit. So I think it's a good test of both of these teams as well to see how things are going to shake out. So I'm excited about that. You mentioned before LSU, Ole Miss. I like LSU's defense. That's all I'm gonna say. I think their defense is on fire. Offensively, sometimes leave a little bit left to be desired, but defensively, they bring it. I'm really excited about that. You see USC in Illinois. We'll see if Illinois can come back and make some moves, and USC is looking for a way to prove themselves. 2 other ones real quick. I'll let you talk about it as well. Notre Dame, Arkansas. Arkansas plays real hard. We'll see if Notre Dame is really ready to be deserving of the number 22 slot. 2 other ones, actually one last one. Ohio State, Washington.
Should be
Ohio,
interesting. I didn't want to mention that. I want to leave it to you, but that should be interesting.
Ohio State, the number one team in the nation, goes far out west. Washington had a very impressive win over Washington State last week.
Mhm.
Washington State came back, kind of gave them all they wanted a little bit. And now Washington is thumping their chest because they feel like they're ready for a challenge like Ohio State. And they're saying Ohio State should be very weary of what's going to happen because they feel like this is their opportunity to show the world how really good they are. Washington does have three nice wide receivers that play real fast, try to play real hard. And of course, we want to see what's going on because we have a young man by the name of Denzel Boston, who's the son of former Ohio State Buckeye David Boston. And he's doing some major things. 6'4", kind of big like his dad. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of people that are fired up. We'll see if Washington is feeling the same way, feeling as good as they think they are by halftime. We'll see what happens because this many are called, but few are
Good
chosen.
choice. I heard that Mr. Smith's younger brother is coming to Ohio State. They nabbed him as a safety, so that should be really interesting. I wonder if Mr. Smith is going to stay there an extra year just to ball with his brother. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It would be great to have the Smith brothers, on offense and defense controlling it. But we're going to be talking about NFL football. Before we we'll preview that before we go into our NFL picks later. Make sure you watch that show. We're going to Major League Baseball. You got about 6 games left, and the Yankees are holding on to that number 1 wild card seed. So, we're not really worried about the Red Sox at this particular time. We pretty much got that sold up, and hopefully they can get some rest, get the pitching some rest. But what are some of the other movers and shakers? Because I'm looking at Detroit. They're looking strong, and they only have a 1-game lead over the Guardians. And that's surprising because they had a bigger lead a few weeks ago when we were looking at that. And the Seattle Mariners, I don't know where they're going to be in a few, but the Phillies are looking like a good team, a team to bet on. But the Brewers, I mean, they're looking like the team to beat and the favorite to get to it all. But I was talking to Pop the other night, and I couldn't figure out how the Dodgers let the Phillies come back and beat them like that. And my father's been saying this for years. They got to get rid of the manager. Kershaw is finally retired. He should have retired, in my opinion, 5 years ago. But what do you see in Major League Baseball as far as the playoff picture, man?
Well, it's going to be, as you mentioned, it's very tight from the standpoint of in the AL East. Toronto is leading Yankees by 2 games. 6 games left, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So the question is, Toronto, if I'm Toronto, they really need to secure that division title because it forces the Yankees to play an extra round, right? Forces them to come up and play more baseball, which is what you want. You don't want them fresh like they have been in the past, where they just kind of dominate everything and they just kind of wait. Same thing too with Detroit. You only leave Cleveland by 1 game. The winner of that division, again, they sit pretty because you get a chance to wait when you get that first round bye. It's really nice. Seattle, they've been coming along for a long time. And when you just want to count out Houston, they're 3 games back in that division. They find a way to kind of run back in there and beating on the trash cans. I still didn't think they're gonna make a run regardless.
Seattle's 9-1 in their last 10, so they're pretty hot right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see can they hold on, which they probably can, but with only 6 games left. In the East, Philadelphia seems like they're just running through them, making things happen as well. Milwaukee in the National League in Central is taking over. So the question is, while they've been real hot, can they be motivated enough to compete with the better teams? That's always kind of been the MO for Milwaukee. They win the division, they get to the first round or never the play second round, and then they falter. So are they going to make a move, or are we going to still be looking at the same damn teams? Is it going to always just be the Dodgers, and it's always going to be the Dodgers and Yankees? Or is somebody else going to step up? We know the Dodgers are leading in the West. Are we going to see some different teams? Are we going to see Tigers step up? Are we going to see the Guardians rise to the occasion?
I wanted to ask you about the Tigers because they were the hot team, and I'm thinking they are 1-9 in their last 10. Did they blow their wad, or did they peak too soon, and now they're coming to the end of the season? And what's going on with them?
Well, I mean, sometimes teams get tired, right? And like you said, they can run out of gas. But if they just think about it, if they win the division, the last 10 games, do they really matter? I know we talk about energy and momentum and stuff like that too, but sometimes the pitchers are tired, a lot of stuff is going on for them to get the lead that they had, right? So with that being said, the most important thing is they have to find a way to stay ahead of Cleveland. And I think the emphasis that you're showing about a 1-9 in the last 10 games,
And then
that has
Cleveland is
allowed
nine and
Cleveland.
one in the last 10 games, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
one game
which
up.
basically one game away
Yeah,
separates them. And just maybe winning a couple extra games could have made certain that Detroit was right there. Now you risk having that division title and that one round of rest instead. So to me, even though you ask, are they gassed out? What's going on with them? I love it because the last 6 games, people are gonna be playing for a lot more. It's on the line. That's why I love playoff anything, playoff baseball, playoff hockey, playoff kickball.
right.
I don't care what it is,
Hula hoop.
because yeah, hula hoop, whatever, because it's on the line. And like you say, pressure bust pipes. So are you ready? It's like, what happened? He just folded. I thought he was ready. No, he wasn't ready.
Right.
But he won. He's been winning all year. But I love the playoffs almost in anything, and I think we're going to have some good matchups because when you look at baseball, has there been any one team that's been so dominant? And you have to ask yourself, has there been one team? And the answer to me is no. But again, we hope we get something different this year because I'm not tired of them, but damn, it'd be nice to see somebody else besides Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees. I'm not hating, I'm just saying.
We grew up in the 70s and in the 80s, and that's the way it was. I mean, you just, you could have mailed it all in, and because
Don't do that. No, hey, now wait a second. It was some
with
Cincinnati
the
Reds.
Reds,
Don't
the
do that.
Reds, the Cincinnati
Don't,
Reds.
don't do that. Now
And then you had
hey,
the
tell the
Pirates.
truth.
You had the Pirates. Okay, I
Yeah,
can
look,
see that.
look. I know you're a Yankees fan, but you don't forget 1976
Yeah,
4-0.
I got it. I got
All right then. Don't look. Hey, don't get me started now. Look, that 4-0 sweep against that $200 billion salary they had over there, and they got swept. Come on now. See that? You get amnesia because you start feeling good now, but
Not
all right,
amnesia,
no,
just amnesia.
yeah, amnesia. Let me pull them Reds out on you, boy. 75, 76 back to back. 75 over the 7 games, the 6 games over the 7 games over the Red Sox, and came back in 76 and swept them Yankees. So
Yeah.
don't look, don't look. I'm old. Look, don't get my crick going, boy. Don't get my crick going.
All right, let's go back to college sports with college basketball with the surprise announcement that Bruce Pearl retires. And as soon as I saw that and heard that, I'm like, something's real fishy here. Because Bruce Pearl has been known to do some shady stuff. And maybe he's getting out before, the getting is getting good with the NC. Hey, what are your thoughts about Bruce Pearl just suddenly, before the season started, hey, I'm out of here?
It's shocking. It is because we're like 52 days away from the season
Yeah,
starting, right? So you have recruited. You've been in practices already, getting these kids ready to play, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of like what I think it was Tony Bennett was at Virginia, and whatever it was, less than 50 days, he did the same thing.
right.
I don't think it's fair to the kids.
No,
First
it's
of
not.
all, if I'm a recruit and I'm coming to play for you, you just came away off of Final Four, and I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna make this run back, and then you go, well, I just think I changed my mind. At that point, I think it should be wide open, even though it's late, for kids to go, look, I don't want to play. I'm gonna sit out or I'm gonna transfer immediately. I think they should have the right because they came here to play for you, and then
Right.
all of a sudden you're like, well, you should be loyal to the school, to the coach is not. And I know what he mentioned before about he really thought they would be in good hands because he left his son to take over. I think he's going to be the interim coach for this year. But the only thing I say about that is we don't know if your son can coach.
True.
He's not you. I mean, granted, he got the genes and everything, but until he goes up and down those lines and starts the coaching, and not saying he might be amazing, but as a recruit, I came to Auburn to play for Bruce Pearl, not his son. So it'll be interesting to see if they have any fallout from that because that has to take some air out of your balloon. I'm thinking we're running it back. That team last year, they look good. We know Coach Pearl has got them going and everything. And then all of a sudden, yeah, okay, guys, it's ready to go. And here's the son. You'd be like,
All
we'll
right.
see.
Yeah. We got to keep our ears and eyes open for this story because there's more to the story than him just suddenly saying, I want out. And Bruce Pearl's history at Tennessee and other places. Usually, when something happens like this, there's a story coming within the month. A story will be coming out because hopefully we still have some good investigative reporters out there that will get to the source of the issue. Let's talk about the NFL, man. And I'm not saying this because you're Dallas Cowboy fans and I want to bust your balls or anything like that. But how does Dallas lose to the Bears? And I know how bad the Bears are and get blown out by the Bears. And I was telling my dad earlier, he's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Dallas is stupid and they don't know what they're doing. They're just a dumb ball club because you give away your best defense of player and you can't stop anybody. You try to get Clowney and he gets arrested like 3 days before you can get your hands on him. And you putting your trust in Dak Prescott, which you saw yesterday, it's not going to work. And so now your receivers are going down. You got frustrated players. You really didn't make any noise. And here we go again, Dallas Cowboy fans, where this was the year. It's not looking like that so much this year. I know a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans, and this every year is supposed to be the year, and it's not. The other game that I saw that I paid close attention to was the Eagles and Rams, and the Eagles eked it out. And when the Eagles were winning and they got the blocked field goal, I looked at Jalen Hurts' face, and he had no expression. And it seemed like he wasn't happy with the performance of that team. And it looks like the Philadelphia Eagles are a little bit in trouble because they're struggling to kind of win ball games. Everybody, they're the Super Bowl champion. Everybody's coming after them. And it's like, on his face, it's like, we got to do better or we're not going to make it back to the Super Bowl. What game stood out for you, sir?
Well, the Dallas Cowboy game, even though Winhawk called it, I was not surprised a little bit because after the second touchdown from the flea flicker that they threw, you had Caleb Williams looking like a
Didn't Dallas come up
superstar.
with the flea flicker?
Maybe something like that from
Yeah.
100 years ago. But just that play alone and Caleb Williams feeling real good. I think he threw like 298 and 4 touchdowns. I think that might have been the greatest game of his career. And they just kept coming after him. And you saw Dak Prescott struggling. And Dallas Cowboy fans, I've been one for a long time. I will admit it. I got a problem. But anyway, I'm still watching them closely. When are you guys going to get it? It's not happening. Until they show you something different. I told you, had the same issues for like what the last 15, 20 years at quarterback. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott are the same guy, except the fact that Tony Romo doesn't make as much money, didn't make as much money as Dak Prescott. Same guy. So I'm over it. I have been. This is not the year. It's not been the year for years. What, 30 years? But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so I don't know why you get your hopes up. It's cool to wear the jerseys and whatnot, but till they show you something different, I would save my energy and just watch football, play a little fantasy, so that way you don't be hurt as much. But some of the other games, I had to say I was definitely impressed by the way that Seattle showed up when they win 44-13. That was an amazing win. Let's see who else. The way that the Panthers
I was going to mention that.
destroyed the Falcons. Oh my goodness. Now it's so bad to Penix that you think about going back to Cousins.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's. We were praising
Wow.
Penix last week. We were praising,
Wow.
but
Wow.
I didn't see that one
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. Last one for me on this one is this is hilarious. And we had talked about this before, but the Minnesota Vikings, 48 points. And I clowned somebody because I said, "Do you even know who the backup quarterback was?"
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but it did matter because his name is Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
Carson Wentz has played with five or six teams, and he's been a starter at some point for the last 6 years. But kudos to Carson Wentz, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. We know he got a lot of hype coming out of school, a smaller school, and he really hasn't lived up to what everybody thought he was. But I'm gonna give him a little pat on the back this week because of the factor that he's living his dream. I know McCarthy's hurt, gonna
right,
be out for a couple weeks, but this is Carson Wentz's dream. His favorite team growing up was the Minnesota Vikings. He had a number 11 jersey. So to finally become the starting quarterback,
right.
anybody ever play sports, you play for your favorite team, it's like, man, you could not, oh man, this is a dream come true. This guy is like on cloud nine. If he only starts for 3 games, damn it, he has lived and lived his dream.
Full
Because
circle.
as a kid, to wear your favorite team's jersey professionally. I mean, he's like, he can do no wrong. He does not care. He's going to play, I promise you, he's going to play like you've never seen him play before. And you got the wide receivers. You saw Jefferson playing real well. I think he needs to really try to work on getting a serious connection with McCarthy. But the way you see a veteran quarterback come in here and move the ball, they look like a whole different team.
Yeah, it did.
They look like a whole different team. So kudos to Carson Wentz. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but you look pretty damn good the other night, my friend.
What's your last second shot, sir?
My last second shot is a little different. Excuse me. And this is a little obscure. I know some other people talked about this, and it may not be totally sports related, but I know that Cincinnati native Adrian Broner, the boxer, was on a particular show, and I guess he kind of got out of hand because they said he had a little bit of some very bizarre behavior towards a young lady that was one of the hosts of said show. And then once I guess he got out of control, he was trying to talk to her, was kind of bothering her, trying to, if you will, make Google eyes at her. Then one of the hosts, I'm not even gonna say his name, started to step up and say, "I'm not gonna let anybody disrespect my sister like this." And he simply just said, "You gotta leave because you're out of control." And then he simply pulled out his big wad of money and paid him to walk out. Okay, that's great. And he was standing up for your little sister's manhood. But bruh, let's be serious. First of all, you knew, you even mentioned it, that Adrian Broner seemed intoxicated. So why would you, a man that has a national show, knowing that he's intoxicated, well, I thought he was going to be okay. Why would you even put him on the air? Because you're at fault because you actually put that young lady at risk. Is that what you're saying? If you thought AB was really struggling and really needed some cash, instead of risking what you did and having the show come off the way that it is, instead of trying to be this knight in shining armor, just pay the bruh. You know he hurt. Break him out without him coming on the air. But to come up and act like you did this noble thing by saving the young lady, he should never been on the damn show in the first place. Where's the professionalism at? Well, I thought he was going to be okay. Then I've heard people say, well, if you're an adult, you need to learn how to hold your liquor. Are y'all nuts? You don't know what people are going to say when they drinking or high or whatever. So the best thing you can do is not have them on at all. But then again, that's the kind of society we live in with the social media thing. Everybody think it's a joke. And then at the end, you want to come back and you want to apologize for what you called him. Called him a druggie or a dope addict and all that other stuff. Man, miss me with that, bruh. I mean, everything is so sensationalized that now it's all like we're trying to be a hero or we're trying to shock the hell out of you. How about old school times where, and maybe I'm just sounding old as hell, where you take serious some of the instances about news and trying to provide a decent product. But oh, my bad, damn, that's too much like right.
Yeah. I stopped watching First Take years ago because of Stephen A. Smith, because to me, he's just a clown show. He's made a lot of comments, several comments are just asinine. And he made a comment recently about, you got a lot of people out here who never played the sport, making comments about the sport. Bro, you ain't really never played the sport Winston-Salem, averaging 1.5, so I don't count that. You talk about running for president. Then you talked about I could take over for Jimmy Kimmel. Bruh, get over yourself. Maybe ESPN has all this love for you, but they don't love you like Kobe out here. I have never met anybody out here that even likes you or watched the show. I don't know why the show is still on the air. I don't know why they keep trying to plug you in the NBA and in boxing and all that stuff. We saw the tape with boxing. You should never be on a boxing show ever, ever, ever. Get over yourself, bro. Get over yourself. They ain't got no love for you like they love Kobe out here. And like I said, ESPN must love you and they give you a bunch of money, but that doesn't mean you're still not a clown. That's our show. We'll see you next week.